So, in the previous video I just posted, I was like, you know what? I really like Van Helsing. I want to gush about it for some reason. So I was like, you know, why wait? It's my fucking channel. I can gush about things if I want to. And that's what I decided to do. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to be just talking about my love for the Van Helsing movie. I've done a video long ago. I distinctly remember I did this movie, like, gushing about this movie, like, decades ago. At some point or another. But what I do remember about, I do remember gushing about this movie just for no reason other than, you know, I think this movie's pretty underrated. And now people are starting to really appreciate the movie. Like, people are really, like, I know it got panned by critics, and it did I do remember people saying, like, it did well at the box office. I do remember that. But the other thing I do remember people saying about the movie is that they basically, like, I do like people liking it, but, like, the studio's like, it got panned by critics so hard, we're just not gonna do it. Isn't that funny? Like, early 2000s, Universal Studios was like, the critics were so hard on it, but we made so much money, but the critics didn't like it, so we're just gonna pull it. And nowadays, they would have been like, well, fuck them critics, we made money. That's been Hollywood's standard for a long time now. So, yeah. Anyway. So yeah. I love this movie. I never once hated Van Helsing. I never once hated the Van Helsing movie at any point. Do I think it has its flaws? Absolutely. I think it does have some pretty glaring flaws here and there. I do think it has some noticeable flaws in terms of, like, storytelling and pacing. But at the same time, though, I think the other thing that really does help this movie is the fact that this film is a fun roller coaster ride. And that's what's it's from the same director as the Mummy films. And yeah, those films aren't perfect, but as I said, there's a charm to them. And Stephen Sommers clearly knows how to pay homage to the Universal monsters, as we saw in The Mummy. So clearly, after seeing how well The Mummy did, I can see why Universal Studios wanted to bring him back to do something with the Universal monsters. And you see that it's a love letter. This movie is a straight-up love letter to the Universal monsters. Does it still have that kind of gothic atmosphere? In some scenes, yeah. It's not a big thing in the film. I think if you were to ask me what horror remake or modern Universal monster movie captures that kind of classic gothic atmosphere, I would 100% say The Wolfman. The 2010 Wolfman movie nails it in terms of, like, gothic, like, classic Victorian gothic atmosphere. This movie does have a few scenes, and it is more of a adventure film, so I do forgive it. But, like, when we're in the Transylvanian village, there's some serious atmosphere. And that opening scene of the black and white, the black and white prequel scene, mwah, love it. It's a great love for it. And sometimes horror movies will do, like, black and white scenes, and it's just kind of done in a kitschy manner. But this feels authentic. Like, I don't know if he was using a different ratio or something, but the black and white scenes in that movie, the black and white scenes in that opening scene of in Van Helsing they feel authentic. They feel real. They feel like they were made by someone who cared and gave a shit about what he was making. Yeah, sometimes it just helps with authenticity. And speaking of feeling authentic, let's talk about Hugh Jackman's performance. Hugh Jackman's performance in here. Now, keep in mind, this was still a Hugh Jackman who was still, like, finding his footing in Hollywood. This is, like, I think a year after he did X-Men, and this was his second biggest movie at the time. So Hugh Jackman now, if they did this movie again with Hugh Jackman, first off, I think that would be kind of fun if you did, like, a requel to this film and have, like, old man Van Helsing in, like, I don't know, the well, it was set in 1897 or 1880. I can't remember, but yeah, 1897. That was the original film, and then have it that we're now fast forward to like the 1920s or something, or set it during, I don't know, during World War I, like a monster story. There you go, Hollywood. You want to bring the... I guarantee you that, like, if you brought the Van Helsing project back, or if you did another Mummy movie, people will go see it. That's not even a joke. Like, people would legit go... If Stephen Sommers' movies came... Like, if you gave him money now, you don't realize how much of a cult following this man has, especially when it comes to the Mummy movies, and also the love that is for... the Van Helsing movie. Yeah, let's look at. So again, Hugh Jackman, he plays the straight man in here, and he also has some great comedic timing for this film. I think he has some of the best. I love the physicality he brings with this role, and I love the I love all the gadgets they give him, like the automatic crossbow, the buzzing blades, and things like that. He sells it. Like, that's the thing. Hugh Jackman sells this movie no matter what. So does the whole cast. I can't remember the name of the actor who plays Dracula, and he's not a great Dracula performance. I'm going to go into the monsters now, because that's what you've all been waiting for. It's not a great Dracula performance, but it is a fun Dracula performance, and it fits the theme of this movie. Also, it's cool to see... Also... It took me forever to realize this, but the last time I watched this movie, I was like, who plays Igor? I never knew who played Igor. And it's the fucking actor who played Benny in the Mummy movies. How did I not know this? Every time I've seen this movie, I didn't know this until like fucking this year. That was the last time I watched this movie, and I'm like, it was Benny? Benny's Igor? The fuck? So yeah, as for other monsters, his Dracula's vampire form is fantastic. So are the Bride's monster forms. There's it's cheap CGI, and you clearly see some problems here and there. But Sommers knew what he was working with, and I think he does a great job with the lighting of the CGI monsters and other places. Yeah, same goes for like it's also interesting to see that while he used a lot of practical effects for a lot of the monsters, he didn't use it for Frankenstein's monster, which was this very much like steampunk kind of creature. And I love the design. There are some CGI touch-ups to it, and I really appreciate it. It's, again, like this kind of steampunk Frankenstein monster that they're going for. And, of course, the werewolves. Everyone who sees this movie is like, that's how you define, that's the definitive look for a werewolf. Whenever you think werewolf, like, if you think werewolves in movies, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna think of this movie. You're like, just go ahead, picture a werewolf right now in any movie. Oh, did you think the Van Helsing werewolves? Yeah. Because they're just perfect, it's just perfect man and wolf design. They're big, they're hulking, they're fast, they're strong. They're just kind of a perfect design of man and wolf. And I know not every Hollywood movie has that kind of budget, but still, come on, guys, you gotta, look at that design of a werewolf and go, like, that's what we need to do. That is the pinnacle. The only thing that really holds it back for me is the skin ripping out of the skin. I never liked that. It's just really dumb. I never liked it. And the CGI transformations in this movie are... It's not great. But as for, other things, again, Mr. Hyde is a really fun opening scene monster. There's also an animated prequel film that's, 30 minutes long. It makes no sense and really doesn't play thematically in the rest of the movie, but it's supposed to explain why Mr. Hyde is in Paris. I used to have that movie somewhere. It's not great. I have someone put it on YouTube. I don't know if it's still up, but I rewatched that movie and I was like, this is 30 minutes long and not great. It came out in that era when everyone was trying to do animated movie prequels. There was Dead Space Downfall, there was that Turok animated film, there was Dante's Inferno. There was a lot. It came out, remember that era in the early 2000s where movie studios, especially Universal, were making animated movie prequels for especially for video games. or yeah, video games or video game movies. Not to say this isn't a video game movie, but yeah, I remember this. I think it was called Van Helsing: The London Assignment or some shit. And good God, the fights in this movie are awesome. They're dumb but amazing. There's also like some great scenes too, like when Dracula's got Anna, and he's dancing in this massive ballroom filled with other people, and there's this huge mirror, and in the mirror, Anna's reflection's only there. There's tons of people. It's like, oh fuck, they're all vampires. It's just like subtle storytelling like that I really enjoy. And also Carl, great comedic presence from I forget his name, but most of you guys would know him best. He was the storyteller in 300. He's done a lot of bit roles. He was also the narrator in Deadliest Warrior. You guys remember Deadliest Warrior? I remember Deadliest Warrior. God, this movie's just so fucking solid. Is it perfect? No. Is it a fucking solid movie? Yes. It's a fun film. It definitely gives you that classic hollow... It's like I look at this movie and go, Universal, how did you fuck up Dark Universe when you had this, like, almost, what? Over 10 years ago? Like, yeah, 2004, I think this movie came out, and then 2017. This movie's 20 years old, by the way. I hope you all feel old now. Old as I do. But yeah, I'm like, how did you fuck this up? You had a perfect Dark Universe movie back in 2004, and this Tom Cruise thing what? I don't get it. Yeah, but all in all, it's definitely a movie you should put, if you haven't already, put this in your Halloween horror movie roster, or just roster in general. I have the Blu-ray. I got the Blu-ray of this movie. I like, my brain autopiloted when I was just perusing for like getting new Blu-ray movies. When I saw the Van Helsing movie was there, my brain went autopilot and just got it already. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That's pretty much, that's just my thoughts on Van Helsing. It's a great movie. I just wanted to gush about Van Helsing. You guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of that movie? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.